Welcome, everyone. My name is Morgan Hicks. I'm the graduate admissions advisor here at SUNY Plattsburgh. Tonight, we are going to be discussing some of our education leadership certificates, including teacher leadership, school building leadership, and school district leadership. And I'm going to have Cindy introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Cindy McCarty. I am the program coordinator for Ed Leadership, but I'm also a program coordinator for special education.
Thank you. So as I said, we're going to be reviewing those three programs that we offer. Just a couple of housekeeping things. There are some QR codes throughout the presentation tonight that will lead you to any relevant web pages. So please feel free to have your phone out so you can scan those if you need to. And then we're also going to be doing some questions. We'll take some like kind of towards the middle of the presentation and then again at the end. We have the chat feature up and the Q&A feature, so you should be able to use both of those. So please feel free to send any questions in. So moving forward, this is our admission staff in our office here. Michelle, myself, and Grace all take one-on-one graduate appointments. So if anybody, after the presentation, you want to have a one-on-one appointment with us, you have more questions, please feel free to go to our website and register for that, and we'd be happy to meet with you. So as I said, we're going to discuss these three programs. We'll also be discussing the application process and cost and aid as well. Okay, Cindy, do you want to start?
Yep. So Morgan always has this lovely slide, but I'm going to talk off it, but a little bit. So when you think of Ed Leadership, we're looking at students that are looking for leadership positions. So on this list, part of the program is for you to learn to be professionals in your field. And, you're really looking at, what you've learned as a teacher, or if you're a speech therapist or whatever. And then through your grad work and your internships in these programs, that moves you to another understanding of administration. You know, there are so many different leadership roles in so many different schools. Principal, assistant principal, superintendent, chairs. But some CSE chairs are district leader positions. It really just depends on the school that you work in. Okay, so teacher leader, it's very basic. People do that kind of just sort of to kick off to see if they want to be leaders, even and continue the SBL program. Morgan, I'm correct now. The teacher leader, if you're in schooling leader, you're automatically getting teacher leader now.
Yes.
Okay. So, and there's 4 courses in that. And then the school building leader is 30 credits. And the SDL rate here in our program, I know there might be questions about if you still have to take courses at SUNY Plattsburgh. We are still hosting a certificate program for an SDL with 2 courses, but we'll talk a little bit, show you those in a minute.
So yeah, as you were saying, teacher leadership is 12 credit program. And you have to have a master's degree in order to apply for that. You also have to have a permanent or professional teaching certification. The school building leader, as Cindy said, is 30 credits. And then the school district leader is an additional 8 credits that you can do after you complete the school building leader. Okay. You want to talk about
Yep.
teacher
So,
leadership, school
uh,
building leader?
just, quick thing, at the teacher leader, all of these programs are New York State registered. They're all online. There are, I'll tell you right now, we have 100. I just looked, 109 individuals right now in the SBL, and and they're from all over New York State. The SBL faculty are working in this. They're either full-time faculty members who hold, like I hold an SDA, and then we have other faculty who hold I think there's SDAs as well because they're older. And then we use adjuncts who are retired individuals. And then Morgan, you always go with the costs.
Yeah. So the cost for all the programs per credit is $514. Most of the classes are all 3 credits. So each individual course is a little over $1,500. And you'll see the cost will be repeated on a few slides, but just so everyone knows. So then again, the teacher leadership, you can scan this QR code if you want to go to the program page, but teacher leadership is a 12 credit hour program. You can do it full-time or part-time. And then there are 4 job embedded cornerstone projects. Cindy, could you talk about what the projects, like what they entail a little bit?
Basically, the four cornerstone projects are projects that you're going to do related to the course. So it might be an assessment course, it might be a curriculum course. But the cornerstone is we always have you make sure that you do something that's going to really relate to your job already. And of course, a lot of them have to do with data, what curriculum you are using, and the other two are not coming out of my brain, but some of them kind of cross over. So, but it's not something outside of what you're doing. Part of these programs are really to say, okay, what is the reality? What is happening in your schools and trying to create projects and assignments that work within what you're doing.
And then those are the courses offered in teacher leadership. Is there anything you want to mention about those, Cindy?
Yeah, so these courses, there's no cycle of when you take them except fall spring, but we also are teaching a lot of our courses now in summer winter. So a lot of people are getting these done in no time. The one thing I'm just going to say about teacher leader, if you in any way think you're going to head right to SBL, head to SBL, because teacher leader is now automatic once you do the SBL, and it might it it's just every day I say, why do we have this program? But I know why we have this program. But anyway, SBL, these courses, you can take them fall and spring, but we also do them in winter and summer.
Yeah. So just so people know, teacher leadership does not lead to a New York State certification. It's kind of like
No,
a dip your toe in,
it is a dip
test
your
out
toe in.
these classes.
Yeah.
And if you like it, you can continue to the school building leader, as Sydney mentioned, or you can just apply to school building leader right from the beginning because all 4 of these classes are in SBL.
Yeah.
So really, you can do this as a way to get started if you want to, or you can just apply for the SBL, like Sydney said. Okay, so moving on to school building leadership. Do you want to do this one, Sydney?
Yeah, so school building leader, as you all know, if you're teachers, or whatever jobs you do in your school, we look at principals, assistant principals. Department chairs don't need necessarily an SBL at all. It really depends, but principals, assistant principals, coordinators, and again, there's other positions. Some small schools will use SBLs for director of special ed or curriculum person, but a lot of when it says a district job, then that's the SDL. Okay. The duties in there are what a building principal does. Building these duties on this thing don't even touch amount of what you do as a school building leader. I always say you're a jack of all trades, but this says single building could work in more than one building, right? But as you know, if you're on this webinar, you know what your school building leader does, and it's a lot, right? So in order to get into this program, 3 years of acceptable ed leadership experience. No, 3 years acceptable. Oh my gosh. In order to get this program, you have to have a professional certificate, right? It's usually 3 years that comes.
Yeah.
Um, and then one of the advantages of the school building leader program, I meet with students all the time, is as you're working through these 30 credits, if a job comes up in your district or somewhere and you're like, oh my gosh, I have 5 classes done, right? 50% of my program, um, you can actually apply for a school, an internship certificate, that there's a process through that in the Office of Certification. but there is a process. It's not automatic. I just want everyone to know. You have to have a job in hand, and then you can apply for um, the internship certificate. Out of 109 people in our program right now, I advise 109 people, but lots of people are applying for positions using an internship certificate because administration, as you all know, flips quite a bit and opportunities. People move from one place to the other. So, and if you have any questions, please let us know.
Yep, we've got the Q&A and the chat up. So if you guys think
Okay.
of anything, feel free to pop it in there and we'll answer any questions. Um, so just a little more on school building leader. I think a lot of this is stuff we already covered, but it is 30 credits. You do have to have a master's degree and your permanent professional teacher certification or SLP or school counselor, any of those, to apply. The classes are 100% online. They're all asynchronous. And then at the end of the program, you do an internship, that 400-hour internship that is spread across 2 semesters. Cindy, would you want to talk a little bit about people's
Yeah, the
internships and
internship
interviews?
is and right now it's hours. It's moving to week semester, but 400 hours. Most people do it in 2 semesters, 200 and 200. You have 20 competencies you need to meet, but if a lot of people who are getting hired are actually able now to do the internship 1 and 2 at the same time, but you have to be employed in administrative because you can figure 400 hours takes no time if you're an administrator, right? So there's a lot of flexibility in how that is done.
And then this program, the School Building Leader Program, is eligible for federal aid. So you can complete a FAFSA and you can take out loans for the SBL program. And then these are all the classes in the program. As you can see, the first, was it these four? I don't know if it's the first four, but the ones that we listed in teacher leadership are also in school building leader. So that's why we were saying you can start with teacher leadership, or you could just go right to the SBL if you know that you want to do the SBL program. But Cindy, is there anything you want to mention?
Yeah, so right now, almost as you see, there's only 2 summer classes right now. Every class in this program except internship is up for this summer. We have added a few more like fall classes. Um, we've just made a lot of changes since I took over this program. I don't even know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I don't even know. It all runs together. So summer, you pretty much can knock out many of the courses. Um, and then internship again can be either spring to fall, fall to spring. Some people actually do part of it in the summer. Again, you have to get approval from the coordinator, which is me. But I am getting people done much quicker now with the way we've been putting courses up. So if you look at this and go, "Oh my God, it's going to take me forever," it really may not take you forever.
Yeah,
It's going much faster for people now.
yeah. Okay.
Do you
So
want, are we going to just go to Q&A after? Is that what we're doing?
yeah, I was gonna do some
Okay.
Q&A in the towards the middle and then again at
Okay.
the end. So do you want
Uh,
to discuss the school district leader?
Yep, SDL. So if anyone on this is saying, "Oh, I've heard so much about the SBL and SDL going together," yep, they are. Yep, there's ways you can do that. Our program has not done that yet. We are working on finalizing things to merge our two, but until we merge our two, we have the SBL and the SDL. Again, SDLs can be superintendents, assistant soups, deputy soups, and then in any building, many positions are still district leader, where in other districts it's building leader. So again, it's hard to tell you anything beyond these titles because it's so beyond depending. It's all there's over 700 districts in New York, and they all choose what's going to be SDLs or SBLs. Um, as you know, superintendent office is the superintendent, the one in charge. They report to the board. They oversee all the actually all the administration. Um, And, they deal with personnel and so on, budgeting and all those big problems in the school. Um, Again, this one you have to be through your SBL before you can get an SDL. So that means SBL, you still have to do all our courses and take the test, which are separate entities, just like when you became a teacher or whatever other profession you're in. And then you can move to the SDL. And there's also a test for the SDL.
So this one is 8 credit hours. Again, all online and asynchronous. This program is only offered in the summer right now. The dates for 2026 are May 26th through August 14th. And then this program has a 60-hour field placement. Would you be able to talk about that, Cindy?
Yeah, it's all wrapped in your coursework. So the two gentlemen that teach our courses, they embed all these hours into your program based on almost everything you're doing. So the field hours are really not above and beyond what you're doing in the courses.
And then this program is not eligible for federal aid, just so everyone knows. Teacher leadership and school district leadership are not eligible for federal aid. So those two programs, you would either pay out of pocket or take out private loans, whereas the SBL, the school building leader, is eligible for federal aid. So these are the two courses that Cindy mentioned that are in the summer. And your 60-hour internship is built into those courses, as she said.
And your 200 hours for the SBL are built into this internship, but it just looks different. It's just a
Yeah.
little bit of difference.
Okay, so we did get a couple of questions, so we'll take those. The first one says, how do people do the internship if they're not currently working as administrators? So if someone's teaching full time, Cindy, how do they get those hours?
So just like anything else, you don't do them after school. You do them whenever in your day you can get them done, right? So when you are in internship, you have your mentor, which could most of the time is your building administrator. In some situations, it's not always, but that's ideal. Um, and you look at, I mean, I have to meet these 10 competencies. You'll get these competencies in a handbook given to you, and you say to them, all right, I need to meet these 10 things over my 200 hours, and it's I don't want to get into too much detail because it doesn't make sense, but you just work with your administrator while you're within your teaching day. Oh, and just continue to peck away at your 15 weeks in a semester to get the work done. Yep.
I know some people have done it like during prep time or in service
And
days.
you can still use Zoom. You Zoom with administrators. It's project based. You're getting a lot of work done and it's meetings and so on and so forth. Yeah.
And then the next question says, do you need a teaching certificate to apply for the SBL program? I have a master's and 9 years of teaching experience at a private school, but I didn't get a certification. So you do need to have a New York State permanent or professional teacher certification to apply for the program. So that is a requirement right now. Someone asked, who are the
Who
instructors?
are the instructors? Lots of instructors. Um, right now we have I teach, but usually only winter, summer. Um, our main instructors during the semester are Terry Deo, Carrie, oh my gosh, Carrie's last name, not coming to my brain. And
Carrie
then,
Zapalo.
what's up?
Carrie Zapalo.
Thank you. And then, adjuncts we've used locally, um, Polly Tavanera from Beekmantown, Sarah Paquette from Willsboro, um, Matt Slattery's taught for us, uh, Justin Gardner, just different individuals that are local. Yeah. I hope that
Yeah,
answers your questions.
yeah. And all people that have experience as principals or superintendents or
Yeah, they have to either be an
administrators.
SBL or an SDL. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. I think that's all of our questions right now. So I'll move forward with admissions and the dates and deadlines. If you do have more questions, please feel free to send those in and we can answer some more at the end. So to apply to the program, you would go to Plattsburgh's website, plattsburgh.edu, and you would go to the graduate admissions page and start an application from there. It's really easy. You create a login, you're going to go through all the different sections and fill out all the questions. And then after you submit it and pay the fee, then you can submit your additional documents. So what those look like are a resume, a statement of purpose, um, two letters of recommendation. If you're applying to the SBL program, one of those letters has to be from your principal. If you're applying to the SDL program, one has to be from your superintendent. Then you also would have all of your official transcripts sent to us. If you happen to be a SUNY Plattsburgh alumni, we will get that transcript for you from our registrar's office. All of the programs require that you have completed a master's degree. And then they require that you have a New York State permanent or professional teaching certification. For SDL, you have to have proof that you've completed an SBL program. And for the proof of your teacher certification, you can just send a screenshot of your Teach account. You could also scan your certifications if you have paper copies of those. So basically, you would upload all of those items into your application portal. So the start terms, as we mentioned earlier, teacher leadership and school building leadership, you can apply for any semester right now, fall, winter, spring, or summer. And as Cindy mentioned, we're also offering more classes now during summer and winter than we used to, which is nice. The school district leader is only available in the summer. The modality, as we've mentioned, is online and asynchronous. And then we don't have hard deadlines for any of these programs. We have rolling admissions. So that means we suggest you apply at least 6 weeks before the semester that you want to start. We do continue reviewing applications until the semester begins, but we just recommend 6 weeks so that there's time for the faculty to review your application and make a decision, and then for you to pay your deposit and get registered for classes and all that good stuff. And that way you don't feel rushed through the process. Okay, so going over cost again, we did mention this, but the per credit cost is $514. There are payment plans available if you are not doing loans. You can, when you get your semester bill, you can break that into 2 or 4 payments that you pay throughout the semester. You can also pay it all at once if you want to do that. We do recommend filing a FAFSA for the school building leader program, as you can qualify for federal student loans. And then, as I mentioned before, private loans can be an option for teacher leadership or school district leadership, if that's what you would like to do. We also have the contact information up here at the top for our student financial services office. If you have any specific questions about the FAFSA or federal aid, or if you do apply and get accepted, if you have questions about your bill, those are the people that you would want to reach out to regarding all things financial. Okay, so that's actually our last slide. We have our contact information up here for our office. We have Cindy's email there as well. Just if anybody has any more questions, please feel free to send them in. We can take a couple more. We've got plenty of time. We went through that really quickly.
It's because I'm so used to talking about it. And if it's anything program related, definitely feel free to email me. I'm used to responding. And it's also nice because like if to give you some personal information, personally how it deals like with your situation. So I'm not going to give you my personal information, but I'm going to give you information. Because a lot of people have their own stories, right? So
Yeah. So someone did just send a question. When does the summer term for SDL begin? Is there a specific date? I think that I had that date on a previous slide.
It runs through all the terms, so I think it's yeah,
Yeah.
5/26.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
May 26th through August 14th this year. And it's around that same time frame each year, as long as we're still running the program the same way. But and I also wanted to mention that this year we're launching what we're calling a summer institute with some of our education programs. It essentially means that the education department is offering more classes this summer than they typically do. So we do have a webinar coming up next week about that we mostly invited administrators to. But if anybody wants to attend that, it's next Tuesday, I think at noon. We did a lunch hour one because it was aimed at administrators, but um, we basically are kind of some of the programs we offer are going to be what we would say like fast tracked. So this summer, if you do Summer Institute, you could get 15 credits of the school building leader done during the summer. So that's half the program done in one summer. So it'll be interesting to see how many people we get to do that. I think it's, something that a lot of administrators are looking for to help teachers move into different positions that they want to fill. Um, so anyway, just wanted to plug that in case anybody wants to attend or ask your administrator because we did send emails out to a lot of the school administrators across the state about Summer Institute. And you can reach out to us and we can send you more information as well. Um, and then someone asked if it's possible to get a copy of the slideshow. Yes, we can. We should be able to share it, but we also are recording this session and we'll also be sending the recording out to everyone who registered. But I think I can share a copy of this. I can make a copy that's shareable and send it to you. So I can do that after we get off of this Zoom. All right. I'm making a note to myself. Yes. I can send the details of next week's meeting. I can send an invitation.
But Hillary could talk to me at any time when I'm in her building.
But yes, Hillary, I will send you a link to register for that. Okay. Okay. I don't see any more questions. So I think we're all set, but I will just go back to that last slide in case anybody wants to write down our contact information. And as I mentioned earlier too, on our website, on the graduate admissions page under appointments and events, you can schedule a one-on-one appointment with people in our office. If anyone feels the need to do that, we take appointments right now every day of the week between me, Michelle, and Grace. So we're happy to meet with you.
And I'm available if anyone emails me. I
Yeah.
will make time. I just put you in my availability.
We did just get another question, Cindy. How long do most people spend to complete both the SBL and SDL? So if someone's doing both programs, what would you approximate? It can
So
vary.
most people take only most people only take two classes or one or two during the semester,
Mhm.
the semesters, right? So fall, spring.
Mhm.
And then a lot of people take summer classes. So the way that's been set up now and winter classes, I mean, you can be done. The problem I think getting that done is you gotta have to fall into the right cycle to be able to cycle right into the summer SDL. So it just all depends when you start and how much you bang out at the, in the summer, in the fall, winter, spring, and summer. So it's hard for me to say
Yeah.
because
I think,
it also the internships sometimes trip people up.
yeah. I would say most people, like, if they're trying to kind of get through it, a year and a half to two,
Yeah,
maybe.
it's just the problem is the internships, right? So
Yeah.
you have to get your internships done. You can't even start your internships till you have six courses done.
Yeah.
So it just all depends on how much time you want to spend.
Yeah. You mentioned some flexibility in tuition billing. Should I contact admissions for more information about that? So you can contact our office. You also could contact Student Financial Services. Um, their email is sfs@plattsburgh.edu. But either office, we should be able to answer some of the questions, but definitely Student Financial Services will be able to give you more detailed information about billing. Anything else? That's it right now. So like we said, please feel free to reach out to us via email, schedule an appointment. But thank you everyone for attending. We love having people sending in questions and being an engaged audience. That's great. And thank you, Cindy, as always, for co-hosting with me. I appreciate it.
See y'all.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.